Forget China, forget climate change, forget even the stop-start resurgence of Africa. Will it or won't it become a real power in the years to come, the decades ahead? The really important change going on in the world is actually transparency. It's the reason we founded Glasshouse Partnership. Transparency is about information. It's about the way information is flowing around the world, the way it's flowing between organisations and the way it's flowing between people. And it's changing the contract of relationships between the different stakeholders that shape our future. And critically, of course, it's changing CSR, because CSR is your interface to the world. CSR is your rules of engagement to society. Transparency is changing all of that. What does transparency mean for CSR? Well, critically, it means that the status quo is no longer acceptable. Under this increased scrutiny, with this greater weight and pressure of information available, one-sided conversations, pushing messages at people, no longer cuts it. Collaborations that depend upon the whims of the chairman's wife or some tokenistic 1% philanthropy principle, however well-intentioned, are no longer going to cut it. Critically, transparency means that change that is only skin deep will not be acceptable anymore. That's got to change. And the way that we think it's going to change is by embracing social communications, cleaning up your CSR. The first way social communication changes CSR is by changing the nature of conversations. The good tried and tested PR tools develop the proposition, build the messages, identify the key messages, and then turn those into a compelling story, then build the evidence, build the metaphor. It's all important, but what's much more important is two-way dialogue. We need open-door conversations, multi-channel, multi-stakeholder, going on all the time, listening as well as talking. And that change is critical. Many of the best organisations already get this. They're already practicing open-door conversations. Take accountability, the CSR standards body, that allowed every stakeholder to participate through a wiki in developing its latest reporting standard. Take SAP, which is actually inviting stakeholders to directly edit the criteria on which it should be reporting. These are open-door conversations going on live, allowing stakeholders right into the heart of the organisation. And that's going to be happening everywhere. The second thing that social communications is going to deliver is authentic collaboration. Again, move beyond the sort of tokenistic, skin-deep stuff. Where we're moving with authentic collaboration is for the organisation to look inside itself and understand its deepest competencies, and then apply those competencies to real social problems as defined by its stakeholders. Of course, first of all, you've got to ask your stakeholders what those problems are. That's another problem. The third piece of social communications is about bottom-up change or outside-in change. The contrast here is to make sure that it's not top-down and it's not skin-deep. So don't just construct strategy for change in a darkened room and attempt to push it down upon the organisation. Try instead to foment change from the borders of the organisation and then let that change seep up and build the infrastructure to let it seep up to make a difference that's actually lasting in the organisation. Assuming that you do take on board the need for social communications, you then need to do something about it. Not only do you need the traditional strong communication skills of agencies, building creative stories and telling them effectively, you also need legitimacy to actually access and continue conversations with key stakeholders. You also need rigorous planning skills that are much richer than traditional skills. And you also need the right tools. You need to know ultimately how to manipulate the toolbox of modern communications, i.e. the social media. If you decide to leave your windows dirty, your story is going to be disbelieved, or even worse, ridiculed. Stakeholders are going to start shrinking away from collaboration with you, and the change that you're trying so desperately to embed is going to be short-lived and insubstantial. By contrast, if you do want to clean your windows, Glasshouse believes that we can help. We're already collaborating and working very closely in the ICT industry, in the mining industry, in the chemical industry, and we're helping key players in those industries to really embrace social communications and change the nature of their interface to the world. If you'd like us to talk to you about window cleaning, why not get in touch?